Hey, yo. Hey, man, we jumping right in there tonight, bro. We jumping right in there tonight. How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there tonight? You know what I'm saying? So, welcome, bro. Welcome back to the shop. You already know what time it is. You already know what time it is, man. You came into the hottest spot on YouTube, bro. So, this is where the conversation moves, bro. Every thought drips steady. Just a little bit dangerous, though, but around here, we don't rush it, bro. We catch a vibe, we let it breathe. We let it sway. We let it talk back. You feel me? So loosen up, lean in, and let's ease our way in today's real talk. Hey, this is TG, bro. You see what I'm saying? So welcome to Talking Greasing. Welcome to the show. Welcome to. So what y'all? How y'all doing, bro? Hopefully y'all had a great day. Hopefully y'all feeling good out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see the name of the title. It ain't no mystery. So I don't know how long I'm here. I don't know if I'm here for a long time or a short time, but I know I'm here. You feel me? I'm here right now. So, like I said, I ain't gonna try to keep y'all too long, bro. So we're gonna get ready to go and jump into it in just a second. So, but I just want to talk to my people. Let me know how y'all doing. You know, as you come in, please hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Please hit that like button as you come in the building. Drop a comment. Let me know you're here. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll go from there. Then, then we will go from there. You feel me? So, we back, man. The shop is open. I've been missing a couple days. I apologize for my tardiness. I apologize for missing the days. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get more consistent if I want to run this thing up, and I'm definitely trying to run it up. So I'm saying I'm definitely trying to run it up. So yeah, but we're gonna work on that. Uh, like I said, so but let's get into it. So hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see the name of Tyler, baby mama and baby daddy. We need to talk. Feel me? So hey, be real with me right quick. Like when somebody say that's baby mama, that's my baby mama, why I automatically feel like a Tyler Perry scene about to start. You know what I'm saying? Like you already hearing the yelling in the background, a screen door slamming, somebody auntie in the house got, a coat judging everybody. You know what I'm saying? But now flip it. That's the mother of my child. Oh, now you sound like you got some life insurance, like you got a credit 700 credit score. Same person, completely different energy. You know what I'm saying? So, so today we gotta ask: should we retire the baby mama and baby daddy, or are we just being dramatic? You know what I'm saying? Or are we just taking it too far? But let's talk about it. But let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear somebody say that's my baby mama, what image pops into your head? Don't filter it. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like drama, stress, arguments. You know, late night texting. Some toxic energy or something of that nature. Now let's flip it. That's the mother of my child. Why that sounds so much more respectful, more structured. You know what I'm saying? More intentional. Same person, same situation. Age, just different energy. You feel me? Just different energy. That's it. But what? Tell me what sound better? You know, A, baby mama, baby daddy, or B, mother or father of my child? Today we diving deep into this question, Should we stop saying baby mama and baby daddy? Or is it just slang and people being too sensitive? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about it. The term just didn't appear out of nowhere. They came from the culture, the music, everyday conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like at first the words weren't negative, you know. They were just descriptive, you know. But over time, it seemed like the meanings had changed. Now when people hear it, they don't just hear a title, they hear a situation. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand it, you know. And usually not a peaceful one, you know. When you hear baby mama, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Drop it in the comments for me, please, man. Drop it in the comments for me. Just let me know what comes to y'all mind. Like words matter more than we like to admit. And I know I'm big on it too. Like I be like, man, what to do? That word don't matter, man. I said what I said. I said it this way. I said it that way. The words don't matter, but we have to admit that words matter way more than we want to admit. You know what I'm saying? Like they shape perception. They shape some people's behavior. For other people, they shape respect. Baby daddy sound casual. You know what I'm saying? Father my child sounds intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like one feels temporary. Like, yeah, he just around for a little bit. The other feels like a permanent situation. Like this actually is the father of my child. You know what I'm saying? Then some people will be like, hey, do words really matter? Or is it all about the actions? Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Drop it down there. Let me know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got off guard a little bit. I be telling y'all I got ADHD. Sometimes I be looking at stuff and get my mind go a whole different way. But let's get back to it. But let's keep it real though. You know what I'm saying? Some people said baby mom because the situation feels like that. The situation don't feel real if it feels temporarily. If they feel like they really don't respect that person, or if they feel like they really don't care too much about that person, they will use them particular words. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't call or he don't show up or he inconsistent. So now that title becomes a reflection of behavior. You know, and this is where it gets deep. Kids hear everything, and they internalize more than what we think. When you speak negativity about their parent, even casually, it hits different because the parent is a part of them. You know what I'm saying? Like we got all that has to come into consideration. When we doing these things, when we saying baby mama, baby daddy, when we saying a little slick stuff about the parents, the other parents in the presence of our kids. Like some people will say it's just the culture. You know what I'm saying? That could be possible, but you got other people that say it's time to evolve too. At what point do we decide to change our verbiage? At what point do we decide to sound more presentable, to the public eye, to the audience, or to the world? You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, both sides have a point. The real question is, do the language you use like reflect the life that you want? Or do it reflect the situation you're in? Like, so, all of that, has to. Dang, hold up, I'm tripping. All of that has to play a part in it. You know, I'm sorry, I'm tripping. I'm looking at something. Something ain't right on my stuff right now. What the world just happened? The world just happened. Okay, I don't know. You know, but yeah, but it's just all about figuring out how you want to carry out your life, how you want to carry out um, going forward after you or y'all as a mother and a father has parted ways. You know what I'm saying, or how you want to be, how you want your children to hear. You know how you talk about the other parent. You know whether it's in a good way or whether it's in a bad way. You know what I'm saying. So the verbiage that we use in them particular moments makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, them kids are listening. So what you don't want is that child to look at you different or look at you sideways because of how you speak on their other parent, on the father or their mother. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to think about how you want your kids to come up. You know what I'm saying? Not just how you want to hear, not how you want them to hear it, but you got to think about when they get of age as an adult, and they might, let's just say they go through the same situation to where they have kids and it don't work out. You know what I'm saying? Would you, at that point, would you want your child saying the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Would you want them to be like, hey, that's my baby mama? Or would you want them to be like, that's the mother of my child or that's the father of my child? You know what I'm saying? Because it hits different. It hits different and it should feel different. Because I don't care who you is, that that baby daddy, I've been called that before, and that just don't feel right. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how nobody else feel, but I know me, it didn't feel right for me. You know what I'm saying? So I, cause I'm a father, I'm not a baby daddy. I am a father to my kids. So um, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't necessarily say the mother of my child. I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily say the mother of my child all the time. Sometimes I will say it, sometimes I won't. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie like, and I ain't gonna sit here and lie like I do. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I do try to respect them enough not to talk about them around their mother. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, around the kids, not talk about their mother around them. If I have some, or if I feel like something didn't go a certain way, or should have went a different way, or if I felt like I was slighted some type of way, like I just don't talk like that around my kids. Um, if I'm gonna say it, if I'm gonna do it, then it's gonna be um, perhaps of my own or in my thoughts or with somebody that's not around them. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're looking for uh, trying to raise kids at a certain standard, a certain morals, certain respect. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time that comes from us, what we do. reflects them or rubs off on them. And a lot of times that's what they're looking at. They're looking at you, how you was, how you carried yourself, what you did in the moments, what you said about this, what you said about that. They watching all that. You know what I'm saying? But I really think it just need to be. I just think we need to go and retire the words. You know what I'm saying? Let's look for a different way or a different format to address the parents of our kids. Because I mean, if you lay down with them, I think they deserve some type of respect, some type of a title that benefits them or benefits you in the long run or benefits you and your kids in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point you probably love that person. At one point you might have been looking to spend the rest of your life with that person. So why now act different? Or why take it to a different level? Or not even respect them enough to talk different to them, or you know, it's just about respecting and just wanting a little bit more, and then just wanting to carry yourself different across the board, so that your kids can see something different. And then let's just say you do it, and then that person, they mirror what you do. So now that they see you showing them respect by saying, "Oh, that's my child's mother," then maybe they'll show you same respect by saying, "Okay, that's my child's father." Instead of calling you a baby daddy, or instead of calling them a baby mama. You know what I'm saying? But it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And some people tie this stuff into, man. Some people tie it into, respect, love, family. It's all about how you feel about it. You know. So a lot of times, some people don't even realize that these two little phrase words, you know what I'm saying, carry a lot of weight. You know. And we just using these words, or these words shaping how we see relationships, families, or even ourselves. You know, we gotta look at it from all angles. So, but you got a lot of people that think they're just regular everyday language. You know what I'm saying to them, just regular everyday language. But and then most people gonna say it's come from an urban background or urban culture. You know, especially in communities where you had a lot of um kids out of wedlock or single parent household were raising. You know what I'm saying? And let's just say relationships weren't just relationships; they were complicated. And at first, it was just a way to explain it. You know what I'm saying? That's what to do. That's the person I got a child by. You know, simple. You know, but like I said earlier, as we went on and on in time in life is turned into a label, and not just in a label. Um, I think it's stereotype attached to it now. Now, when somebody said baby mama, baby daddy, I don't think they picture like a co-parenting ideal. You know, I don't think they see that as something as a co-parenting dynamic that two adult individuals are doing a great job at parenting a child. I don't think that's what they see when they looking at that. You know, I think they picture arguments, drama. He ain't doing right, she always tripping. What to do? I think that's what people see when they hear somebody say baby mama or baby daddy. Like I don't think it's nothing no good thoughts come from that in particular words because how it has became a label over the years and not just a word that explains that I have a child with this individual. So, but then then we gotta look at and this too. Like the words themselves ain't the problem. You know, I think it's what they represent now. Because when you say that's my child mother, I think that's more respectful, more decisive, more intentional. It sounds more mature. Put it that way. It sounds more mature than anything else. It sounds like you don't graduated the immature level and you stepped into a mature role in life to where you willing to co-parent and take care of your child. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like when you say baby mom, baby daddy, it's almost like you kind of distancing yourself or you minimizing the relationship the child had, you know. Or some people might say you even reducing the child, to just a minimum level of something that was a mistake or something that didn't matter to you. You know what I'm saying? So, but it just sounds better when you say the father of my child, or just then rather you say that just the dude I had the kids with. You know what I'm saying? It just hit different. Oh, I'm sorry, I ain't even dropped the link, did I? I ain't even dropped the link. Let me drop it. Bam. There you go, right there, Miss Studio. There you go, right there. Yeah, I hadn't even dropped the link. I'm sorry about that. I'm supposed to send it. I need to start sending it to you instead of dropping it because what I want to start doing a dialogue and then open the panel up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but that's neither here nor there. That's a big behind the scenes thing to talk about. Anyway, you know, but you got some people out there be like, man, it ain't even that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even whoop to do. It's a couple words. It don't matter. Like, but but my thing is what energy comes with that. You know what I'm saying? What energy comes with you know what how it has been labeled now. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in 2026 and the label of it looks totally different from what it looked in the early 2000s. You know, so and one thing we have to do, we have to evolve with time. You know what I'm saying? So now if we deem that okay, this is a bad look for us as individuals, as people, as parents, as co-parents, you know, as a culture, then we have to evolve with time and we got to say, okay, this is a bad look. Let's switch it up. Let's change it up. So we can be more presentable to the public eye. to our children, just all around more mature, more resourceful, more verbal person. You know, because some people could say, "Oh, they just saying that because they they don't have no what's the word I'm looking for? They don't know how to use their words. They don't have no vocabulary in their mind. You know what I'm saying? To be able to say something different. You know, but why give them that? The studio mic check.
Hey, how are
Hey,
you tonight?
applause, standing ovation.
Okay,
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right, tap in,
I'm sorry, what you say?
tap in, tap in. You gonna jump in there? Or just listening.
Oh, I thought you, okay. I thought you was asking me to come off of the live and start typing. That's crazy.
Oh no,
Okay,
nah. I was
okay.
just saying you got any input on it, basically. Yeah.
Sure. So this is like a nerve pounding topic tonight.
Mm,
I don't really necessarily agree with the words baby mama or baby daddy. I feel like it's demeaning to a person. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I never really liked those terms because words do, like you said earlier, they do kind of shape how people see things, right? And you're talking about people who created a life, parents, responsibility, legacy, a child's future. And when you say those words, it reduces that relationship to mean something temporary. Or like you said, I wouldn't say casual. You said casual. I would say informal, right? Something that doesn't carry weight, but we all know that it does. As a matter of fact, it's a lot of people who can't actually date now because of said air quotation, like their child's mother or their child's father being in the picture. You know what I mean? Like taking care of that kid. It's a lot of people who can't date. And it's a lot of people who want to date someone who has like another kid with someone else, but just that stigma behind um being a baby mama or being a baby father, it kind of like puts people off, you know?
yeah,
Now me personally, I don't like I'm not a baby mama, thank goodness. Um and I don't have a baby daddy, never have, right? Hate those terms. But there were people that I wanted to date that had kids that I couldn't see myself, you know what I mean? Like just dating them because of that stigma behind that. Because when you think of a guy who has kids by other women, it as a woman, it makes you like, okay, what kind of man is this? Is he taking care of his kids? And even if he is, like, is he like the type of person who feels like spending money is taking care of kids? Or is he like the type of person who feels like spending time is taking care of kids? And like I know people don't think that that matters, but that co-parenting relationship with your children, it affects all of the people's lives involved. And with that specific term, it literally diminishes it. You know what I mean? And so that's not fair to the kid because if someone has a son and they hear their mom being called baby mama, that boy is going to grow up to not have respect for baby mamas, even though his mom was one. I've seen it so many times. And so, like, I've even made the decision in my life, it's like, whoa, I see how people treat like that stigma. And I've made it my life mission not to ever become one, because it seems like these people are at the bottom of the totem pole as far as like respect with women in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, especially like in our culture. Now, in other culture, it still kind of have like a stigma to it, but I don't think it's as deeply ingrained in other cultures as it is in our culture, which is why it has that negative connotation to it. And I think it's atrocious.
Okay. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it is too. Like I just think we have to be better, better than what we was, better than we could say the ancestors, or because it came from somewhere. It ain't just started happening when we got here. You know what I'm saying? I think it came from somewhere. So, but I think right now
Absolutely.
we just have to be at a point to where we got to say, or we got to pull the trigger and be like, okay, now, dog, I'm done with this. Okay, let's change how we talk. Let's change how I carry myself. Let's change how um I go about with this relationship with my the mother of my child, or with the father of my child. You know, because like I said, all that matters, because at the end of the day, when you have a little one and you trying your best to raise that little one, like the Bible says, it takes a village.
Does it?
I think it do. I think it do. And so I said that to say this: if sometimes if we're not on the same page, then the chain is broken, and so now it's like, okay, it's pulling one way, it's pulling the other way, and now that child is in the middle, and that child is confused. You know what I'm saying? But if we men our relationships with each other, with the co-parenting, and sometimes it could just start off by how we approach it, how we call what we call each other, or what we refer to each other as. Sometimes you can start off with just stuff just as simple as that, to make a difference in
I
everything
agree
else
with it.
going forward.
I agree. It sounds so informal, and you could say something like my co-parent. You know what I mean? Or like you said earlier, my child's mother or my child's father. Because when two people, like, everybody don't wait into marriage, that's the sad truth. And so sometimes people make mistakes, and that's fine, right? But growing up from those mistakes and being young enough to outlive your mistakes, not saying that your children are, right? The mistake of having a kid out of wedlock, right? And the reason I say that that's a mistake is because it creates so many different variables in so many different ways for that relationship to collapse on top of the child. You know, I mean, what you say does matter. And we do want to elevate the way our language, like, we want to elevate our mindset, because I feel like you may not be together, but you're still connected through something serious. And that serious thing is another human being.
That's facts. That's facts. And don't get me wrong, like, because I know some people might listen in and be like, oh, they don't even know what I've been through with this person, or they don't know what that person did to me, or they don't know um, what to do, whatever the situation may be. But that's fine and dandy. Like, and we're not saying that you wasn't wrong in it, or that you ain't been done wrong, or that somebody didn't do or wish ill will on you. But all we saying is at some point we have to mature to a point to where respect plays a major part than just our ego or our pride, or I'm gonna say hate for each other. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard people say they hate their child's mother, their child's father. I've heard people say that.
I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
but
So
people feel the way that they feel about individual people regardless. It's just because of that kid factor, it's like a level of respect that kind of comes with that because even though you may not be with that person, like this person still carried your child or this person still fathers your child. And I know in some cases you may have carried a child for a man as a woman and that guy just disappeared. He don't want anything to do with it. And that's his mistake because he really is missing out on one of the greatest gifts that God could give people, which is, you know, the opportunity to raise a person, right? And that's his mistake. So don't be discouraged, but also don't I say don't take the disrespect of being called a baby mama because it's a serious matter. It sounds like it's a responsibility, right? That sounds like respect. That sounds like something worth taking seriously. You see what I'm saying? Because it is serious. So I don't know. Casual language create these casual mindsets, but parenting is anything but casual. Ask any parent you know. It's a life changing situation forever.
okay,
So yeah,
yeah,
forever. It doesn't matter if you carried this baby for 2 months and something happened to it, or if you carried it full term and you had it. It don't matter if you had this child and this child grew up to be 18 and something happened to the child, or if this child outlives you. It's still a life changing situation for the mother and for the father in all facets of the situation. So, with that being said, like, I would love to hear people referring to people as like a co parent or, that's my child's mother. Let me introduce you to my child's father. This is my child's mother. You know what I mean? Like, and putting that respect on that title the way it deserves to be, for the parents who are actually present, for the parents who are actually doing things right. It's only right. I mean, if you don't do it for nobody else, do it out of respect for your kid because they're watching, right? Even if the other parent is absent, they're listening to these conversations. When you're sitting inside, your kids are inside of a car and you get out to speak to someone else and they're like, "Oh, well, where's, you know, the other parent of this child?" They're listening to how you speak about that other parent. Whether what you're saying is the truth or not, you still have to say it in love, right? So, I mean, it's crazy.
right. And I'll piggyback off something you had said, like, and that I think she made a great point. Like, you don't have to accept that type of, or you don't have to accept that type of comment. I mean, some type of talk. I'm saying it that way. You know what I'm saying? And then it might come to a point to where, okay, if you don't want to accept it, or if you don't, or you feel like it should be addressed a different way, then sometimes you might be okay having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's if y'all can sit down and actually have a decent conversation without no, without no back and forth, without no arguments. You know what I'm saying? But if you can, then what's wrong with sitting down and having that conversation with that individual? Be like, hey, can we switch this up? Can we start, talking a little different? You know, if that person has matured in a type of way, I believe they'll be okay with it. It's just what I believe. Cause why wouldn't they? You know what I'm saying? Because now you're sounding better around your child. Now your child hear you um, kind
Well,
of
why
speaking a
wouldn't
little
they?
high.
Okay, so that might actually be a problem for some people because you mentioned like why wouldn't they? If you were, let's say that this parent is alive and present, and you know who they are, right? Assuming all those things are true, this person still might be an unreasonable person, and it might have been why the relationship failed in the first place. So I don't feel like, especially like a woman going to a man, um, like having that conversation is paramount. But I feel like if there's some conversation, and it just happens to come up, like he just happened to say that, I feel like that's a good time to correct him. But if you already you're cross with this person, you know, I would say use discernment in that, because like some people are knuckleheads and some people have like anger management problems, and they will literally snap at the drop of a dime. Like, be safe out here, guys. Like, don't take this advice and then feel so, with your heart heavy so bad that you got to walk into a person in the middle of their job or their business and, cuss them out. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if it so happens to come up, you have the right to say, hey, I don't want to be disrespected like that. Like, please address me this way. If you can't do that, I won't talk to you. And set that boundary, or set that standard, right? And if that person in that moment like disagrees or has like some type of objection, like, oh, well, you ain't been saying nothing about it, we just say, well, I'm saying something about it now because it's bothering me, and if they turn into a child and, oh, you always do this, just simply walk away. Don't worry about it, you know, because your peace is important, right? You don't want like an altercation to come, in the midst of an argument where emotions are high because you want to be respected, and it compromises the life situation for the child, meaning somebody get hurt, somebody go to jail, and then things are different, for that child. You know what I mean? You want to keep the child in mind, but also don't allow, people to disrespect you. It's a way you can do stuff. You just have to find the thin line between it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. You're absolutely correct. I mean, and I was saying that I was hoping we would be able to talk about people that's actually have matured in that particular area and is okay with having that conversation. Now, that don't mean
Well,
they will
well,
be, but I'm just saying hopefully.
right. Right. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're having sex outside of marriage anyway, like there is some immaturity there. And so, you get what I'm saying? Like with your body, with your
Mm,
life and stuff like that. Because everybody just not out here trying to have a good time. And it's a point, even if you are, it goes up to a point to where it's the difference between, you compromising your health situation and you having a good time for the sake of fun. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said it's a little immaturity there. But what I'm also saying is, okay, we passed that point. We don't want to shame anybody for being, having a kid out of wedlock, right? What I'm saying is, if you're to the point where this is like completely disrespectful to you, and it really, like, if you got biscuits, you put them in the oven and it burns your biscuits. You feel me? Like, and this person is saying this in front of you and actively disrespecting you, don't tolerate that. Like, be sagacious about it, be wise about it, state it in a skillful way, right? Get crafty, right? That's all I'm
mm-hmm.
saying. But I just want you to keep in mind when you're giving like your commentary that a lot of these men are not going to have this type of maturity that you're talking about. Men mature is scientifically proven that they don't mature as quickly as women do. You see what I'm saying? Especially like
Yeah,
nowadays. And then you also want to keep in mind like the situation that the woman could be in. Coming from a woman's standpoint of view, like some of these guys are crazy. Some of them were decent guys when you first met them, but then something happened and they like lost their mind. And so when you dealing with a knucklehead, it's not as simple as like talking to this person and telling this person, hey, I felt disrespected by that. Especially like if this person is also a narcissist, like it's gonna be kind of hard. Or if this man has a lot of pride, he's not gonna hear what you're saying because he's already demeaned you in his mind. So he's not gonna listen to her anyway. Everything, she already lost the battle. You see what I'm saying? The actions are gonna have to speak louder than the words at this point. I'm not saying every man is like that. I'm just saying that it's a multitude of them. It's a lot of men, especially like, who are the fathers of these kids, and they've had these kids out of wedlock. And so a lot of men don't have the same mentality as you. A lot of men feel like, oh, well, why I gotta be nice to that B word? I'm just here for the kids. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
She a female dog. I don't care nothing about that. You know what I mean? Or she a hoe, or you know what I mean? So like men really do demean women in that way with words. And they do not care. And the women just have to take it. No, you don't have to take it. There are things that you could do and there are things that you could say. Being sagacious about it. Again, right? We want to be wise. And not put ourselves or the children in danger, as we're also standing our ground for the honor and dignity that we deserve. Because you do deserve that. You are a mother and nothing can change that. Even if your child passed away, you're still a mother. And don't let nobody tell you different. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you fine. I ain't got. I mean, yeah, I let people rock out over here. You know how we do it. It ain't no problem. Hey, but to your point, yeah, sometimes some men do mature a little bit later than women. You know what I'm saying? Because you have some men out here, they be like, bro, they just be saying, they be saying that baby mama thing with attitude, And then it's like some of them be out here like, yeah, I got three baby mamas, like it's a flex. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't be understand what they be celebrating. You know what I'm saying?
They celebrate, it is a flex to some guys. They celebrate the notch on their butt. You gotta realize, like, some people grew up a little different. Some people grew up in the hood. Some people grew up in the heart of the city. Some people grew up around older men who were grooming them as young boys, and they told them, "Hey, do this to a woman, or this is how you get all the ladies, or we'll only respect you if you bang this amount of women." So some men have been wired from childhood to be a dog, to be less than savvy, to not have any dignity for themselves, to run these streets and to be a common, commodity. You know what I'm saying? To be like community property, if you feel what I'm saying. Some of these men really do have that mindset and they think it's cute. And it's not. They're going to be alone forever. And then when they turn 70, they're going to be looking for a wife because now they on dialysis and they taking 16 pills a day and they don't need a wife. They really looking for a nurse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ready to settle down and stop being in the streets and to lay down their bachelor hat. But it's gonna be too late because nobody wants you. You old, you wrinkly, you don't know nothing, you forgot everything. You don't look good. You in a wheelchair. Oh, I got money, I got a pension, and I got my disability, sir. Nobody wants that. You see what I'm saying? So some of these men are raised to live their life in that
Somebody want
specific fashion. Okay. Yeah, don't know. Okay. ED is real out here. Erectile dysfunction is real, sir. And every year after 35, a man's sperm mutates. So who trying to have kids with somebody after 35 anyway? Not a man. You have better luck at a sperm bank as a
nah.
woman. Yeah. Because in case you checked,
Yeah,
I know we're
at a
going somewhere
time,
else.
yeah.
I know we're going somewhere else with this, but in case you haven't checked, like the man's sperm determine how the woman gonna carry the pregnancy. And so who want to be throwing up every day because she got bad sperm from a man who don't take care of himself because all he doing is going out here and banging women and drinking beer and smoking and drinking and partying all night. He ain't seen the gym one time.
Mm.
Or maybe he is a gym buff, but he out here on steroids, mutating his cells. Who want that? Don't nobody want no deformed baby. Who want that? Oh, okay. I'm just saying. Them the scraps. We don't want no man all used up. What's gonna be left for me?
You
Them
said
the
them the
scraps, baby.
scraps.
Right. Who want that?
Yeah. Wait, how they
You
take care
you
of the
need to
scraps?
compensate. You're gonna have to compensate. Then you're gonna start feeling bad. Oh, women only want me for my money, sir. Unless you're a multimillionaire, we really don't even want you for that. Like, because that's the only thing I could get out of it is your money. Like, you ain't gonna be able to give me no good time. You in a wheelchair. You got to take 12 pills because you got hypertension. Like, you're not gonna be able to go and do stuff for me and travel and eat food. Like, you're sick.
Like I said, eat food.
Right. You can't eat anything when you on dialysis. You can't eat anything you want. I like tomatoes. Why you not eating this dish I made you? Oh, because you're on dialysis. Oh, because you was using your youth years to go and play around. and you got 12 baby mamas and you got so many notches on your belt, where did that land you? You see what I'm saying? Like, some people are literally raised and brought up into this mindset. So everybody don't think like that. A vast majority of men, especially nowadays, they see women as objects. That's why it's not a lot of people getting pregnant right now. And that's also why it's not a lot of people getting married, because the dating pool is trash. And it's mostly because of the men, because the men are the ones that's supposed to lead.
Hmm?
But they didn't forget what that meant. A lot of them. Not every man.
I always come back to the man though.
That's the way God created it. You got to talk to the big man upstairs. If you don't like that, it's always the man fault. Okay? That's the beautiful thing about
Mm.
being a woman.
It is,
I mean, yeah, with
huh?
all the stuff that we got to put up with, like, and then on top of that, y'all disrespecting us and calling women baby mamas and stuff. Like, what? All the stuff that a woman put up with, it's the world's best kept secret. What are you talking about? It's so many women out here just put up with stuff, and they complain about it a little. You might have some of them pray. You might have some of them complain about it with their homegirls. But for the most part, a lot of these women feel like they're alone in these relationships with these men who are dogging them out and treating them any kind of way. You know what I mean? It's very few women have the courage to leave a relationship, especially if it's abusive. And I read somewhere in one of these statistics that 70% of women that are abused who try to leave, they lose their life trying to leave an
Mm.
abusive relationship. 70% of those women. I gotta find it so I can send it to you so you can show it to the people. But that's what the statistics said. So, like, it's not just verbal abuse, but that's a topic for another story. And I really can say that, being spoke to in a demeaning way is a type of verbal abuse, including saying, "Oh, this my baby mama." That's just my opinion.
Right.
I'm sure it's other people that feel the same way. They just don't say anything about it because they don't want no problems. But I take all the smoke.
But you got, but you gotta say something about it if you feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying?
Some
Like
people don't.
because
Some people have been told all their life that they talk too much or they doing too much. Some people been in a relationship with a narcissist so long that they learn how to mute their voice because that's all that man saying to them all the time, over and over again. You know what I'm saying? That does something to a psyche of a woman. You know what I'm saying? So no, why would I say something if all you gonna do is moan and complain about it? I don't want to hear that neither. Oh, okay.
I guess you're right about that. I mean, yeah, I can agree with you on that. You know, but excuse me. But I don't know. I'm just saying. I just think this needs to be. I think a conversation that should have been had or should have been came to the forefront about, just being able to change our mindset overall as a culture, as people. But you know, and I know it ain't gonna happen overnight. I know what to do, but if it just happen one or two people, it's a start. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a start to where we changing our mindset or we bettering ourselves. You know, or you can just say even respecting yourself a little more.
It's definitely an uphill battle for sure. It sounds good.
Because like I said, some people ain't gonna. Because some people don't think it's negative or don't see it as an issue. You know, so it just some people don't say, oh, that's just how we talk. We've done this. We talk like this for years. What to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
but we're talking about the dynamic of like having a child involved too. And although the word doesn't say like it takes a village, it does say in Proverbs 13 and 20 that he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So, children that are around, these people who are saying these type of things, like it matters. The village that you're talking about, it influences them. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like so, I just hope somebody can understand where we're coming from with this. You know, because like I said, more so it's not just words. It's actually a whole mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because with the wrong person, you can call them anything and be wrong. You know, I still gonna feel some type of way. But if it's someone who's mature or that's respectful or that's present, you know, that baby mama, that baby daddy gonna feel negative to them. You know, it's gonna feel like, you know, they're not the particular parent that they should be, or they're not getting the respect that they should be from that individual. You know, and and like I said, what you don't want it to happen is to trickle down into your kids because they hear you. That's all they hear you say is, "Oh, my baby daddy, my baby mama." You know, at least give them the respect to allow them to see you say it in a more respectful way when you address their other parent. You know, so but that's about all I got on that. I don't know if you
All
got
right.
anything more on that subject or what.
All right.
I
Well, thank you for having
heard.
me. I do have some final words. Is it okay to?
Oh yeah, always okay. Always okay. It's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, always. Oh, so if you got any final words, then hey, go ahead.
I do. And I just want to say,
That what you want to
y'all,
say? Laugh.
no, I was going to get ready and speak.
And
Let me know when I can. Go ahead.
you can go ahead. I was just joking with you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, y'all, whether you call them a baby mama or a baby daddy or a co-parent, one thing is for sure. The title may be casual, but the responsibility is permanent. Y'all be adults and stay vigilant. Y'all have a good night. And this has been Talking Greasy.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah. Appreciate Miss Studio. Appreciate Miss Studio for tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Coming in with her thoughts, her process. You know what I'm saying? With her, well, her opinions or thoughts that she had for the topic. So appreciate her tapping in on that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, once again, man, you know, I'm gonna end it with this. You know, imagine a child growing up hearing their parent, you know, refer to each other as baby mama and baby daddy over and over again. What do they learn about relationships? You know what I'm saying? Or what do they learn about love? Or what do they learn about commitment? Because kids don't just hear words, they absorb the meaning. So here's the take. I would I would love for you to stop saying it, and I think Miss Studio would too. So but at the end of the day, you don't have to stop saying it, but we should be more intentional because language is powerful. And if we want better relationships, stronger families, more respect between parents, then maybe, just maybe, we start by changing how we speak. Because how you speak reflects how you think. Now, I want to hear from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Drop it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? If you think baby mama and baby daddy is disrespectful, or if you just think it's normal slang, people and we up here overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? And just be real. Don't play safe. Don't do none of that. Also, if this video made you think, laugh, or look at things a little different, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, subscribe for more real conversations, and share this with somebody who needs to hear this. Because you already know when you overhear this conversation ain't over. You know what I'm saying? It just taking a break. See what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. So, like I always said before I get up out of here, man, if you got somebody you love, go tell them, go hug them, go kiss them, go spend time with them because what somebody going through today could very well easily be you tomorrow. And all right, y'all, stay real, stay thinking, and we'll catch you on the next one. This has been Talking Greasy. You feel me? And we out, man. We out. Y'all stay safe.